Hello, PTA family. I hope all of you are having a great school year. You know, our mission work has been quite challenging over the last few years, and yet you are still creating strong family and school partnerships that help our children learn and thrive. So thank you for your dedication and persistence in helping to meet the needs of our children and their families. We've seen the incredible ways PTAs are building community to support our children and their families all across the country. We have done what we do best, help to solve the challenges facing our students, families, teachers, and schools. I've been so inspired by how PTA has risen to make a positive impact in the midst of the myriad of issues that demanded our attention. Think about them: school openings and closings, masks, safety in schools, remote learning, feeding our students, the loss of family members to COVID, social isolation, caring for the mental health of our students and families, making sure all students had access to broadband, and so much more. And it's been an especially challenging time as the pandemic happened simultaneously with cultural divides. The backlash to the racial reckoning our country embraced after the death of George Floyd and others. Backwards motion on the support for our LGBTQ students and faculty. Strategic attacks on public education intended to drive funds away from public schools. Threats and violence directed at teachers, administrators, and school boards. The banning of books and the whitewashing of history. And school shootings and community violence that took our breath away, reignited fear and our sense of loss of control. It brought tears to our eyes and it stirred up our anger at our inability to get meaningful change. As we have for over 125 years, we use our unified voice to advocate for change and pull our resources together to meet the urgent needs of our communities. And it's crucial that we partner with each other to achieve our mission and make a difference in the lives of all children. So what does that mean at the national level? Well, we are all one PTA team. And like any team, every person brings something different to the table. Each one of us has a unique set of skills, distinctive abilities, and varied experiences that help us achieve our mission work. Now think of our one team like it's a living organism, one body with a head, arms, legs, hands, feet, ears, and so forth, each part interconnected and essential for the whole body to thrive. If one part of this body stops communicating with another part of the body, that breakdown will lead to dysfunction. So, if we only focused on one set of skills and abilities that benefit the left side of the body, then we neglect the needs of the right. And if we put all of our effort in the right side of the body, we have nothing left for the left side. All of this causes stagnation and dysfunction, which is what happens sometimes in our committees and PTAs when we don't work together. As we work in our school communities, remember that often the loudest voices, the harshest voices, and the most divisive voices don't represent the majority of our members. We've talked to enough parents to know that PTA is in the mainstream. Yes, there are those on the far right and those on the far left who do not like our representation of the very broad middle. But we don't have the luxury of sitting out the battles, even if we, like most parents, don't want to be in constant conflict. Instead, we must stay in the fight for what most parents and most voters want. It is so easy to want to dismiss thoughts, ideas, and perspectives that are different, or on the far left, or on the far right of that very broad middle. However, we must remember that all viewpoints are welcome because our mission is to help every child, and that means every student, every family, every school, and every community. And while we may not agree on all things, we must work together as one healthy, functioning body to move the association forward. It is a critical time for us to really come together as one PTA team. We need to partner together in our committee work, both staff and volunteers, to address the needs of our members and advocate for meaningful change with DEI, school safety, mental health, and social justice issues. So how do we be the reasonable but unbending advocates in this argumentative and divided world? One idea is surround yourself with a team of leaders who are willing to enter the fray as your partners and create a connection with them. Look around you and remember what caused you to come together in the first place. 2, refuse to allow others to divide and conquer. We cannot say we are carrying out our mission if we allow others to marginalize issues we know that matter, such as the need for racial, ethnic, and sexual orientation represented in our history books, in our literature, and in our school life. Martin Luther King said it this way: "Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be." Third, control the narrative. Don't allow others to label your opinions. Critical race theory, grooming, and other labels need to be broken down to actual experiences in the classroom. Don't engage on those volatile terms, but find the simple words that express what you feel and know to be true, such as, "Every kid and family needs to be welcomed in our school," or "There is no factual history of the United States without fully embracing our successes and our failures." Your words, your truth. Fourth, engage everyone, not just who you agree with. Nothing reduces misunderstanding and misinformation like listening to understand. If you live in a bubble with only people who agree with you, you cannot grow and you cannot influence the worldview of others. One writer put it this way: "I had to unlearn binary thinking, which kept me in a place where I could only put people in good or bad baskets." Don't demonize others. Don't mimic behavior that you abhor in others. 5, take care of your mental health. You may have heard me share these favorite quotes of mine. "I always wanted to change the world until I found out how much work was involved." And then the other one: "If it was easy, everyone would do it." Unfortunately, we have no choice. We cannot disengage or we fail our students and families. So one way to address your own mental health is to remind yourself why you cared in the first place. But caring for our mental health could also be aided by getting perspective. As one writer said, "I don't want to be like this anymore." Realizing that you don't have to feel miserable in order to be engaged. You don't have to hate people in order to have social change. You can still be gravely concerned about what's happening in this country. You can care just as much as you did before, but focus on activities and real change that are more helpful than fighting with people on Twitter. Finally, continue to speak your truth. Fight back. Now more than ever, our students and our education system require that you stay engaged. As one writer put it, "Speak in a healthy and productive way. Grace does not require you to take abuse. It's not about getting pulled into other people's stuff and recognizing that there's a whole story behind this person who got to this place." Other parents deserve the same compassion we would show toward their students. Remember those families and students who rely on us to work together to help lead them to a better future. As we rededicate ourselves to our mission, I want to know, where are you? Are you ready to re-engage? If so, can you say, "Yes, I am"? Can our students and families know they can count on you? If they can, please repeat after me. You can count on me. Thank you.